Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I want to talk about potential Endgame uniforms for Marvel Future Fight because of the upcoming Avengers Infinity War Part 2 and what we can expect from that based on some recent leaked images. Now, of course, because we're talking about a movie that hasn't come out yet and won't come out for a few months, because we're talking about leaks, these are potentially spoilers. So if you don't want any sort of possible spoiler for any sort of upcoming Marvel movie, then you probably don't want to watch this video. That being said, warning aside, let's jump into what we actually got. Now, I'm going to show you the first image up here, which is Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, and Black Panther, and these are the Avengers, presumably the Avengers Endgame toy line that are going to be coming out, or that are already coming out, but they're going to be coming out for and in conjunction with Avengers Endgame, which is, you know, Infinity War Part 2. We can see there that 3 of the 4 have basically their same uniforms from the movie. Of course, Captain America is now missing the beard, and he's got more of the traditional kind of Winter Soldier type look, and the star is back on his chest where he had ripped it off. But we can see Thor with a brand new sort of space kind of quantum realm looking uniform. Now, of course, I already said these are leaks, I already said these are potential spoilers, but I must also let you guys know as a warning, there's no guarantee that any of these things will actually be in the movie. Sometimes what companies do is they will promote and they will create multiple different versions of the same toy line in order to sell different things and different kind of looks and in different bodies with different heads, because you can pop them off now, and it's crazy, all the customization. We didn't have this kind of shit when I was a kid. We just had one toy, like this Batman one here. Nothing pops up, nothing is replaceable, but whatever. So it's possible that these are for Endgame, but they won't be in Endgame, which means that there won't be any connection to Marvel Future Fight. Of course, this will just be the kind of Quantum Realm line of toys that won't actually be in the movie. And if it's not in the movie, there's no way it's going to be in Marvel Future Fight. But if it is in Marvel Future Fight, we can expect, at least, you know, with a 60 to 70% likelihood that Thor will get a new uniform. And honestly, I think he really needs one. Despite the fact that he's a popular tier 3, I think he has fallen behind compared to some of these other tier 3s. He doesn't measure up to Deadpool. He doesn't measure up at all to Sharon Rogers, Luna Snow, and he's not really, his tier 3 skill is not really that powerful. Thunder Blow, although it has an amazing animation, love that one. The damage is not very good on its own. It doesn't have a lot of value in basically almost every game mode. So I would love to see Thor get an updated uniform. The very interesting thing is to see if characters that are tier 3, when they get new uniforms, if their tier 3 skill will ever be reworked. Super interesting thing to consider, because like Thor, I think Captain America, if he gets a new uniform, could also use a rework to his heroic charge skill. Now, of course, that precedent has not been set yet, because for every character that has gotten a tier 3, for all of their you know, retroactive, their former uniforms, they've all copied the same tier 3. So it's unlikely that the tier 3 skill will get changed with a new uniform, but it will be the first time that we're seeing a character get a uniform after their tier 3 instead of getting their tier 3 and having a bunch of uniforms that came before it. So we're going to have to wait and see, but if anyone deserves it, it's definitely Cap and Thor. Their tier 3 skills are a little bit lackluster, and at least if they can't change the animation, because maybe that's too difficult, they could add some additional skills or additional bonus damage or some additional stats to the tier 3 skill to make it a little bit juicier, to make it a little bit stronger, so that there's more kind of punch to it. Taking a look at the second photo, we have Thanos and Hulk looking very different from where we saw them last time in Avengers Infinity War Part 1. Thanos has his kind of full armor on. Now, this is very similar to the look that he had in Fortnite, so I'm not really sure that this is necessarily the look we're going to be seeing in Infinity War Endgame. It's kind of a weird uniform for him to have, so it'd be almost weirder for him to have this in the movie and then, of course, in the game. But that weapon, that kind of double-bladed axe bastard sword thing, it's crazy, this like insane cleaver from Dark Souls, that might actually be in the movie, because we've seen it in a lot of different potentially spoiler leaking kind of, or leaked kind of promo images. On the other hand, we have Hulk with a random piece of the cement, it looks like a random piece of the ground on a stick. I guess he's going to use that to punch someone or hammer someone's head in. And then he's got that same kind of quantum realm space suit going on, and he's got, of course, his head exposed. He looks kind of like Amadeus Cho, if I'm being honest. Now, like Thor, Hulk could definitely use a new uniform. Unlike Thor, he hasn't gotten a new uniform since Ragnarok, so he's definitely due not only for his tier 3. I know a lot of people want to see Hulk tier 3, and he might be the new best combat character, but also just he needs a rework. He only has, you know, one-ish reliable iframes. He has an iframe on 2 as well, but it's pretty delayed. He got immunity on one of his skills finally in penetration, but he definitely needs more. He definitely needs some skills where he jumps up and down. He gets high like Thing to do some extra damage and to kind of have a bit more aerial presence with a bit more iframe or, you know, something else, invincibility. And then of course he needs some, I think, some additional buffs to either his defense to make him a super tank, or his offense to make him a threat offensively, because he just doesn't have the damage right now to kill anyone, and because he doesn't have any real penetration beyond super armor and barrier, you can just kind of time him out or kill him if you have an invincibility obelisk, and you can heal up the damage in the meantime. So both Thor and Hulk are ones to look at. The third image we have here, holy shit, Black Widow's character, the toy looks terrifying. This is probably one of the scariest toys ever. It looks kind of like Christopher Walken if he was like 20 years younger. Yeah, it's really scary. But it does confirm that possibly Black Widow will be getting another uniform because of the quantum realm space thing. Now, Black Widow's in a pretty good place right now. I don't think she's going to be getting a tier 3 because we have a lot of speed tier 3s, and she's just not that high on the list, although she is female, and we didn't have any female tier 3s until Sharon Rogers and Luna Snow, so that's nice. But I think she's not as high on the list as some of these other characters like Hulk and like a couple of other ones we're going to see. Unfortunately, it looks like Star-Lord's not getting anything because he's rocking the exact same look as he had in the movie. So we're just going to have to kind of deal with Star-Lord as we have him now. Next up, we have probably the biggest and most requested and anticipated uniform and character buff, and that is Hawkeye Ronin. So this is the full look. We basically got confirmation that he's going to be turning into Ronin, the badass ninja assassin dude from the first Endgame teaser, and this just kind of puts the icing on the cake. So we got the full ninja outfit, all black, gold trim, and we've got the sword bow thing going on. To his right, you of course see Rocket Raccoon also sporting the Quantum Realm space uniform, so that could potentially be 2 uniforms. Now, Rocket is in a pretty good place. He got a nice rework for Infinity War, so I don't see him requiring too much additional buffs from his uniform. Perhaps another skill that deals high damage to go along with his 5th skill. His 5th skill deals excellent damage and it has a great AoE. Other than that, I don't really think he needs much to be very good. He's already very usable. He just needs a buff to maybe one of his other skills, and he could be competing for some pretty high level stuff if, you know, he had that. He does have mixed damage, physical, and energy, so that is something that makes it a little bit more difficult to push high world boss with him, but he's super nice, even at tier 1 with this uniform, to completely clean out Shadowland stages and rock rumbles. Unfortunately, on the other hand, Hawkeye, as you guys know, is a massive piece of shit. He's just garbage. His new uniform was an absolute travesty. We mocked and memed the hell out of this thing because it's awful. So he needs a top to bottom rework from the ground up. He needs to be remade, like Apocalypse remaking himself after being defeated by the X-Men. He needs to go into some chamber and fucking Kaioken himself times 1,000,000 and come back out after fighting and training under 1,000 times gravity for a year or 10 years or 100 years. I don't know. He's just completely unusable in any sort of challenging content, and he needs it so bad, and it would be so badass to have yet another speed character get a massive rework that takes them from 0 to hero. And I know we do have a lot of speed characters that are dominant and very high in the meta at the moment, but I have absolutely no problem with Hawkeye joining these characters at the top of the meta, and I'm sure none of you have a problem with that either. Moving along to the next image, we have Valkyrie. Now, this is a pretty surprising one. She doesn't appear to have the Quantum Realm uniform, although her base Valkyrie uniform that she shows off at the end of Ragnarok is surprisingly similar in both design and color scheme to the Quantum Realm uniform. And so I actually thought the first time I saw this picture that she did have one, and she was going into the Quantum Realm with Thor and Black Widow and Rocket Raccoon. But no. But it does mean that she may show up in the movie, so it'll be an interesting thing to see. It's especially interesting for me to track Netmarble's kind of usage rate, or how often they decide to pick on paywall characters for updates and reworks and uniforms, because it's an easy way to turn more money out of a single character. Because of course, if you don't have a mega mythic uniform ticket and you want to get the uniform ranked up quickly, you're going to have to get a bio sub and kind of slowly collect that. If the character has a 1050 uniform a la Killmonger, you're going to have to collect 2 full bio subs because it's over 900 bios, which is insane. So you basically have to pony up, if you want to get the uniform mythic, $50 for the uniform ticket when it goes on sale. It's not on sale all the time. It's not one of the regular sale items like these. So it's kind of slim picking. So it'll be interesting to see if they do take that opportunity, or if they kind of ignore her and kind of leave her as she is, as basically at this point just a support character. She's not really usable on her own for any sort of challenging content. So that is all of the information we have so far. There are a couple more images circulating around, but they basically just repeat all of the ones that I've shown you. I think there's one extra image of Groot with the Quantum Realm uniform, the kind of Teen Groot. I don't think they're going to give Groot yet another uniform, because it would basically just be this one with something on top. It would be a very easy reskin, and I honestly don't think that this uniform sold very well to begin with. So I don't think Netmarble is going to want to invest heavily in more artwork to design this just to have it not sell very well. I think a lot of people are happy with this uniform. It's cuter. It's really hard to top this uniform. You know, it's just this is kind of the ultimate Groot form. If you're not going for Daddy Groot, and if you're not going for King Groot, which I'm still holding out for the future sometimes. I mean, MCOC already has him, so why not? It's basically just sticking with this one or not getting a Groot uniform at all. But we'll have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think of Avengers Infinity War. Of course, with these potential leaks and with these potential spoilers and hints and clues, you can use this as a warning, as your own sort of guidance on whether or not you should be purchasing these uniforms. If you haven't purchased, let's say, Thanos' Infinity War uniform, if you haven't even ranked him up to level 60, 6 stars, maybe you should wait to see until the movie comes out, because it's a pretty hefty price to pay. It's almost 2,000 crystals for his uniform when it's on sale. And if you do end up getting, if it does end up getting replaced, you're basically you're kind of wasting it. There's always some value to uniforms because of the optional uniforms, but let's not joke around. Let's not kid ourselves. There's no way you want to buy a uniform for a character that gets his uniform replaced a few months later. And even for those people that had Thor's Ragnarok uniform, that was like 6 months or 7 months later that it got replaced by Infinity War, and people were still pissed. So we're like 3-4 months away. It's way sooner. So just proceed with caution is what I would say. And if you're very tight for crystals, I would just play it safe and wait. There's plenty of other characters that are not going to go anywhere near Infinity War, like Deadpool, all the X-Men, Sharon Rogers, Luna Snow. Build those characters up. Kind of maybe put the Avengers on the back seat, on the back burner for now, if you're tight for crystals, if you're tight for resources for the uniforms, and then wait and see, and then clean up when Endgame hits. So let me know what you guys think of the suggestions. Let me know what you think of the leaked toys, if you're going to be getting any of the toys. If you saw that Punisher one that they're creating, which is amazing, but it costs like $400 US, which is insane. Subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Hit me up on Twitch for more content. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.